Hello, this is Yo Sensei. Today we are using Rhino Snapshot function to produce motion diagramming. Motion diagram is a great way to communicate the spatial concept of a project. You can show the process of operations and ideas behind the design. Okay, let's get to it. So first, you open up a new Rhino file as feet as your unit, and you will create a box at 90 feet by 60 feet by 10 feet. 19 feet by 60 feet by 10 feet. Okay, so this is a box, and we are going to divide this into 6 pieces. So we will run divide command here and divide this line up by 3, and then run another divide command, and then run divide it by 2. So now we are going to create a line that will separate these. So these 3 lines. And then just extrude this line, and then have it intersect with each other. And in this case, we will run Boolean split command. Boolean split, and split this one with these. Okay. So what Boolean split does is it's going to keep the solid state of the object. So you can just have this as a solid object. Okay, and we can go back and just delete all of the points that were used to create it. So now we are going to start running the snapshot. Snapshot can be found on the right side, and if you right click in this area, you can find snapshots, and so you can open up the snapshot. So what Snapshot is going to do is it's going to save the state of your model and create animation in between, which is really cool. So we can change this to render view like this, and then click on the Save As button. So this is going to save one state of snapshot. In this, what we would like to do is to keep the layer states and go to objects and material assignment position, and rendering materials and camera. Okay, so these are the parameters that you want to keep. Okay, so this is your first snapshot. Okay, don't change the view. Okay. Okay. So now, yeah. So then we are going to separate these as objects that are apart, and then again deselect everything and click on snapshot, and snapshot 2 will be saved. The same setting. Okay, number 3, we are going to start assigning materials. So we can just go to the material tab and then just create a bunch of plaster materials that are kind of same, different colors. So we can just create a bunch of plasters. Okay, and then assign colors, different colors. I'm just gonna create different shades of blue. Okay, so then you can just drag and drop this onto your objects. guess I need one more faster color. I think it's this color. Or not. Okay, so now we have this. We can go back to snapshot and then save this as a state. Okay. So what it does is that if you click on snapshot, double click snapshot 1, it's going to become this white one, and then double click snapshot 2, it's going to be this way. Double click snapshot 3, then it's going to change color. The color change is not going to happen as a kind of gradual thing, so we're going to have to fix it in After Effects, but that is okay for now. So now we can just turn off project and then start stacking these on top of each other by running move command. Okay, and then we can just change the view a little bit and deselect here, and then if you have this selected and click on save, it's going to overwrite snapshot 3. So you want to just deselect this area and save it as snapshot 4. Okay, that's good. And now we could actually start shifting them around as a kind of, you know, randomizing the stacking. So we can move this around and then stack it, and then save this as snapshot 5. And so that's good. And then after that, we would like to do a kind of like, you know, moving the scales a little bit, you know, changing scales, shifting them around. And then maybe the base is a little bit bigger. So this is kind of, you know, the next state. When you do this, it's probably better if you don't change the angle, because you can kind of show the scale change a little bit better. But you know, you can, if you want to change it, that's fine. So we save it as snapshot 6. Okay. And then for the last one, what we would like to do is to import people and the trees. So run import command, and this file is going to be given to you on the description section, so you can find it, people and trees. So we have the trees and people. So now we can like start to place them on our objects. The trees can come onto this level. Slightly off. Okay, so that's pretty good. And then I'm going to save another snapshot. Okay, so I think I have saved another state that was not necessary, so I'm just going to delete it. And so if I double click this, it's going to get back to this state, and then it's going to keep going to these. Oops, I think the order became wrong. So number 3 needs to. Number 3 needs to come after. Okay, cool. So what's happening is that I added these layers afterwards, and it's not really saved in this state. So what I can do is go back to snapshot 1 and then override, double click first. Okay, so you have to double click to activate this state. Okay, and then click on the save as button, and then snapshot 1. Turn off the people layer and layer 0, which is 3 layer. Double click here. When you see this warning, unsaved model state, it says your current model is not saved. By restoring this snapshot, you may not be able to get back to this state. Do you want to save a snapshot first? And so what this means is that when you actually go to snapshot, it's going to restore to the state of the snapshot, and then whatever that you have on the screen will not be saved. In a lot of cases, you can just simply dismiss it and just don't save it. But sometimes when you have a state that is a little bit more advanced, for example, if you have modified your model to the next state, and you will click on the snapshot, and then that part is going to be lost. So you could actually save this snapshot at this stage and restore the model at that point as well. So this is a little warning that you will encounter a lot when you're working on snapshot. And then click on save, and then overwrite the layer states. So that's good. Okay, so go back to snapshot 2. The trees are not showing. This one is not showing. This one is good. Okay, and then number 7, the trees will show. Okay, so that's good. So another thing that's going to happen is that when you click on something, right, and then try to save, so right now, what's happening is that we have the snapshot 7, which is like all the trees and stuff, right? And then we are at this state, and then if we single click snapshot 6, and then try to override it, then it's going to overwrite this as a state. So you don't want to do that. So be careful when you're doing this. So in the end, what we have is that you can click on animation, and then constant time is going to tell you 100 frames. So how long does it means how long does it take to go from one state to another state, and then it's going to take 100 frames, which is about 1.5 seconds, because 1 second is 30 frames, so that's okay. And then click on this start slideshow, full screen, floating view, maximize active view, and show snapshot for 1 second. So I want to change this for 1.5 seconds to show the state. So this is what it's going to be. So start from here, separate it, color change, stacking, shifting, scale change, and then 3. Okay, so that's good. So what I'm going to do now is that I am going to run screen recording on Windows, which is Windows and G. Windows and G, and that's going to give you this kind of screen capture. This is kind of essentially gaming capture window. So if you click on, you don't need to record sound, so turn off sound, and then click on this one. Okay, and then we can go to this and full screen, and then we can actually move this stuff away so that we don't need to do this. Okay, so Windows is recording this. We should probably run it like 2 rounds, starting from here. so that's good. And kind of like make it slightly bigger to fit the screen. And okay, so this is a little bit to starting at the little bit in the place that is not that great, but that's fine. So I will find the end frame that's going to stop, and then go to this, and then edit split layer, and then delete the part that I don't need. So now if I run it, I can go to this state, and then it's going to turn abruptly. And so what I can do in this kind of situation is to just find where it's going to become 6 parts, and then composition split layer, edit split layer, and then go to where it's going to turn blue, and then split layer again, and then delete the part that's in the middle, move to where it's still constant, edit split layer, and right click on the part that is frozen, and then go to time, and then freeze frame. So this one is going to be frozen as is. Okay. So what I can do now is that if I just go to this and then have them overlap like for like 1 second, and then change the opacity of this frame by pressing T to open up opacity and make it 0, keyframe and make it 0, and then go to this frame and then make it 100, and have it to snap here. So if you do that, it's going to transition better, and you can do the same type of thing for this frame too. So we can just keep this as a split layer here, and split layer of where this thing doesn't have trees, split layer. Oops. Split layer here, and then make this frame a freeze frame, time and freeze frame, and then make it a little bit longer, and then have this one make it longer. Actually, this frame needs to be frozen too. Right click and time freeze frame. So now we can just have this to transition from opacity of 0. Press T, and then opacity of 0, and then opacity of 100. So we can run smoother transition from here. Okay, and then rest of it is going to be running some text. So I'm just going to do one. So for the first one, we can just click on the text, and then click on text, and base area 2000 square feet, and then make it bigger, and then for 1 to 3 seconds, about 1 to 3 seconds, I'm just gonna split this one, split layer, and delete this one. And then for opacity press T for opacity, 0, I'm gonna make it 0%, about 15 frames, which is half a second. I'm gonna make it 100%, and then 2 seconds, keep the same keyframe of 100%. And then at the end, I'm going to make it 0%. So it's going to appear, stay here for 1.5 seconds, and it will disappear. So you can just once you have done this, you can just control the command D to duplicate this layer, and then make it into a different part and programs or something. So you will create titles for this, and you can just go to the end, and it is 23 even, so go to composition and composition settings, and then change it to 300 for the time, and then rest of it is the same. Go to media encoder queue and export this video as H264. So I hope this was useful, and in creating motion diagrams. I will see you in the next video.